All right, here we are back in another Stormgate cast. I'm Algorithmore, and this is going to be Overcommit in the blue Vanguard. His opponent in this match is going to be TheArchitect, my friend Dutchy, in the red Infernal. And they're playing here on Isle of Dread, and it looks like it's going to be an opening with a conclave here, partial wall, and we're starting to see the dog harass the Hexen. And she's moving across the map. She's just ignoring it. She doesn't really mind. She's trying to get a scout off. I'm sure at some point she's going to have to send a skull and then teleport home, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on her. And there we see it. That skull, of course, being sent out just to see what is the build. Can he see? He doesn't quite see those bobs. But does he see a barracks? And does he see, therium mining, I think, is also another thing you're looking for. He doesn't see any barracks, but of course, you could hide your barracks. He also maybe could have seen how many bobs there were there. Now, he did get here just close enough to see that this base was going up. But he could have seen how many bobs and realized, oh, there's 3 or 4 bobs missing. And wow, that dog is being a little bit mean and trying to be annoying. Right back here, and we see the imps turn to fight, and a lot of DPS goes down, and then a little bit of micro there, trying to take it out. It did go down. The Gaunts managed to get it with just a little stutter step out of Dutchy to take out that scout. Now Dutchy is heading out. Looks like he's planning to get some creeping going. And it looks like we do have a barracks now. Ooh, maybe double racks. Double racks coming down as a second move after that early command post for overcommit. Will he overcommit to his eco? Doesn't look like it. He will build 2 barracks now. Some harsh charges to have to deal with from the Shadow Mastiffs, but good micro from Dutchy. I was going to grab his lightning legs, and I hope he's going to head off to the healing camp because he's got some low units here. He can take that healing camp. He can heal himself up. Preserve the units. Ooh, very early ritual chamber here. One thing you're going to look for when you're looking for a gaunt build like this. How many gaunts do you build before you spend your therium on the ritual chamber? And Dutchy's choice this game is 4. Sometimes the answer is 2. That's a little faster tech build. Sometimes the answer is 6, where you want to just maybe be more defensive or aggressive. And of course, the reasoning there is you're spending 25 therium on your gaunts. It takes 50 therium for that ritual chamber. So you could have 2 extra pairs of gaunts out for that ritual chamber. And of course, then it's another 50 therium to get the plague axes. And it has not yet been started. He does have the resources. And there we go. We see it started. Little scrolly bug. I wonder if they're going to fix that one. But what we see here is he is getting ready to take out the energy camp. He chopped down those trees, and now he's got 4 more gaunts coming in to help. Oh no, 1 gaunt goes down. Unfortunately. If you really can split these 2 slimes so that they're attacking 2 different units, it makes it a lot easier to micro against. And now the energy camp's taken out as well. Back on the other side, Overcommit's got some Lancers out. Ooh, a bunch of Lancers. 6 Lancers. This is sort of a 2 base version of that early Lancer pressure. We'll see when he moves out, but it looks like he is going to take his speed camp first. And I mean, I'm just assuming he's going to move out because it can be very strong against an Infernal player to walk into their base with this many Lancers and just try and kill their economy. So what are the Lancers going to do? They got their little speedy legs, and are they going to run across the map? There's a Fiend here looking for a base. And yeah, the Lancers are heading out. Although it looks like they are headed towards the vision camp. So not aggressive quite yet with it. Meanwhile, the vision camp back on the other side is being taken out by Duchy. So it's creeping on both sides, which again, from on Isle of Dread, this can be a very standard kind of opening because it's a large map with lots of camps, and there's sort of no cost to going all camps, especially if that's what your opponent's doing. See a third base now going down for Duchy. The Vision Camp here being taken. There's still a Fiend here looking for a third, and there's also a Fiend here, so they're going to be annoying when those Bobs run out and try to build that third, but it is actually Exos that are trickling out of the base now. And we see the Biokinetics Lab whirring, and it is whirring on kinetic redirection. That's because Quick Draw Hustle is already done, and I think that is a interesting choice of order for those upgrades. When he does have 8 Lancers on the map, or is that 7? That looks like 7. Nope, it's 8. How can I count? It's 8 at Lancers. When you have that many, though, you would think that you might want to upgrade them first. Now, there's a Harbinger that kind of got caught out. I think Duchy was trying to be smart there, maybe pick off an Exo or two. But then the Lancers came on top, and sure enough, here comes an aggressive force. Waiting for a few of those Exos with the quick draw, but still no kinetic redirect. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Pretty good SimCity here with a farm in the back there, so the Fellhogs kind of get annoying and clog that gap. And now the army does move out and tries to engage on top of these Lancers. And in fact, with an effigy going down, we now see the kinetic redirect, and those Lancers are able to speedily run in, get on top of some Gaunts and take them out. But it looks like it was mostly Brutes and the Hexen that were taken out there. Now this force is going to go and try and take out this third base. There is a single imp, it looks like there. And they are going to just focus fire down. There's going to be a Nightfall infestation. That's a good hit. Ooh, some low Lancers going down to some good focus fire from the Gaunts. And again, a pretty good engage out of Duchy here. His lightning legs definitely helping out there. But the units are just too much, and they're going to focus fire down the shrine, and there it goes. So again, speedy Gaunts out here. Look how speedy they are. That's with the Reaper's Rush and with the speed boost from the camp. Now the camp has just refreshed. Now that's unfortunate, but these units do not want to let this army get out. Of course, can they get by? The Lancers try and run by. They instead turn and fight and try and get on top of those Gaunts, but they do get picked off. And now it looks like it's just going to be a little bit of stutter step from the Exos as they try and get out. Some of them getting caught in a surround, but they're just not going to get away from these Fiends and the Reaper's Rush Gaunts. Unfortunately, these are going to be lost units too. Often, I just say turn and fight, get some DPS out. But it looks like the Duchy decides to go for this camp instead of continuing to chase that single lone Exo down. And that might have been the wiser choice. Get some income. Wait for some more units to catch up. So in this case, a couple Harbingers. Harbingers, of course, are the drop ships. And they have this interesting ability, of course, when they land, they don't just drop their units down, they land, and when they do land, they spread creep around them, or, sorry, shroud around them. Now we see Gaunts getting loaded up, the rest of the ground units on the ground, so more Gaunts being loaded up. The rest of the army headed back. And these Gaunt drops, this is part of the meta right now for Infernal, especially in Infernal versus Vanguard. So we'll see how they do. Now he's trying to sneak in the back here. There is already a flak cannon here. Is there one back here? Not quite yet. They are not loaded up with Exos, but could be a flak cannon at any moment. Here's a flak cannon. And we see the drop coming right in, and immediately we get a, what is this spell called from the Rampart? It's a Reinforce from the Rampart. That's a Solar Habitat. Here's our Rampart. That casts the Reinforce on the flak cannon. That just makes it pretty much impossible for the Gaunts to break it. Of course, the Reinforce is going to last for, I believe, 20 seconds, and it's now done. The Rampart still has energy. Not exactly sure how much energy it costs to cast that reinforced shield. We see there's a Vulcan being added and some Bobs are being pulled here. These units are going to clear out that Fiend. But there is still this drop just sitting in the back here, and it is loading right back up. I'm deciding to head right back in. The flat cannon is still there, but the Gaunts get out, and they're going to focus Bobs, it looks like. But they are taking a lot of damage. A lot of Gaunts are going down here to the Bob, or to the focus from the flat cannon, sorry. And the Bobs were on repair. They did try to kill some Bobs. I think they did get some kills, but I don't know if that was the kind of trades that he was hoping to get. Meanwhile, these Bobs were able to get their command post up, and the rest of this army is clearing out the speed camp, and there we go, speed camp captured. Now, drops deciding to come back. I think that what happened there is the drops went looking here. There are other bases I can harass. But he has been scouting with his Fiends quite well, these extra bases, so he has a pretty good read on where the bases are, which is that there are not many. He probably knows this base went up because his Fiend got taken out. And for the moment, his drop's still just chilling right there. What do we see over here? Imps. Imps on the march. Just a whole bunch of them marching. So this is interesting. Again, the drop's just chilling, and now it's Overcommit who's maybe overcommitting here as he moves across the map. Sorry, I have to keep making puns with his name there. But is it the Architect Duchy who will overcommit with his imps? We'll see. Oh no, oh no, oh poor little guy. Oh no, but they got their flame on. They're going to rush right in here and get on top of the Bobs. They take out one Bob? Maybe two or three? There are some... And the rest of them went home? Oh, that was a little underwhelming. Thought we'd get more from that. Maybe they felt they overcommitted. That's all I can say. It's Spriggans instead that are going to head out. So the drop didn't quite. Now, maybe the drop did try and do something, or maybe it just teleported home. I'm not sure. Here are those units, and there's the drop ships. Looks like it teleported home. But where did those Spriggans go? Oh, here they are, hiding under the icons on the map. Don't do that, Spriggans. How am I supposed to see you when you're hiding under this icon? Maybe that's the ploy. Maybe that is the ploy. Maybe that will be fixed in the patch that comes up tomorrow. We'll see. Tomorrow is 0.2.0. When you're watching this, it probably will have already hit. You might already know the answer to that. You might already be out there enjoying the new patch. Of course, it's a co-op patch with a new hero. Some changes to co-op. And just some minor other changes to the rest of the game. I bet there are some unreported changes that we can see, graphic changes, performance changes, things like that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to get. Okay, lots of speedy-legged Fiends and Gaunts here rushing out. And wow, that looked like a lot of Binding Saliva coming down from the Spriggans. And this camp's going to be taken out. And while this is going down, we got 1 and 2 extra bases going down here for Duchy. He's technically on, let's see, 1, 2, and then there's 2 Luminite and 2 Therium, so that is an extra 4 here. So he is on 4, going up to 5 or 6. And now let's keep an eye, because that's a huge Spriggan Ball with some Shadow Flyers. Ooh, and the Shadow Flyers with the Dive Bomb onto this high command. So this is a tier 3 building, but it is mass repaired by the Bobs. For some reason they stopped mass repairing. Okay, a few of them remain on repair. So seeing some dive bombs, but not enough to take out the high command. Now these Spriggans getting across. There is a Hornet there. 1 Hornet going down. And again, this Air Force being a little timid. I think it could be poking a little bit harder in. That flat cannon, of course, is scary. And here he comes again. This is what I'm talking about. He can be poking a little bit better. But again, dive bombing onto the command, I don't know if that's really the move because of the mass repair. And trying to DPS it down while the flat cannon is firing on the Sprigs. More Shadow Flyers show up. And okay, so we do see it going down. Finally, it took a lot of effort. But it was, you know, effort that paid off because this slower army was marching its way back. And I really think this army needs to try and get something done here. Allowing Duchy to snipe the high command. And it does, yeah, it does look like he's going to try and make his final push. Although we see, yeah, so another command post went up. We see upgrades. We don't see anything else trying to get up to a high command here. And here come these units. This is going to be the signal. Oh, a couple of flame imps there. Detonate. A couple more. Some pretty good detonations. But this base is denied. And what are we going to get from Duchy as a response? His ground army has not moved to intercept this army yet, which is sort of strange. His air force is moving around. Again, just chilling here. While this army from Overcommit is overcommitting again here deep into Duchy's territory. Now Duchy's army is on the move. Again, very interesting. He's probably indecisive there about what his response was going to be. We see the Air Force in a harass capacity, more Spriggans being added. And this ground force, which is not, it's got a lot of higher tech units in it, but it's not very big. Partly because a lot of his supply is in the Dragon and all those Spriggans. This Weaver is going to be, now this might be an overcommit. As, wow, there's the Magmadon gets taken out very quickly. A Shroud Stone goes down. These units are pretty tough, but here comes the Air Force to get on top of it, trying to pick off some of these Exos. Wow, some really nice Flame Imp detonations there, kicking out a lot of this force, and there go all the Exos. It's just Vulcans remaining. They get taken out, and that looks like that's going to be it for that strike force. And now what? We see these Spriggans chasing back the reinforcements. Interestingly, those dropships still just chilling there. And I think these Spriggans are going to try to finish the game now. It's interesting that the ground force is not joining them. And Duchy, looking for extra bases, needs to just fly right into the third or the natural here and finish it off. But it looks like he is, okay, now gathering his ground forces to move out as well. And the Air Force, I guess just in the meantime, waiting for the ground force, going to take out this health camp. One thing that does is going to generate 8 different fiends for him, thanks to the dragon. And as we see a huge fiend force here, Harbingers being added, all of the ground army also very slowly trudging along here. That's a non-upgraded Mago. It does have Demon Hoof Tremors, but it doesn't have it. Oh, there we go. The Raging Tenants pops online just as I'm talking about it. And this has got to be the final push here, as we are at double the supply. And where are we going to go with this? Are we going to go in the back door? Are we going to hit the third? Are we going to try and hit the natural? Looks like we are indeed going to push right through these trees here. Or are we just going to siege from behind the trees? That's curious. So it's just Hellborns attacking down for now. Although we do see some fiends cycling around. We see the Magmadon as well. Mass Repair going down on the flat cannon, keeping it alive fairly long. But now all the units are going to circle around through. Of course, the Magmadon could just chop down the trees, and that is going to be GG from Overcommit.